Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show, ladies and gentlemen. Don't touch that remote. We've got a good show here. You know, what's more important is to be able to see, to look and see, and to hear. And my guest today is a doctor for hearing aids. Okay, and you know, most of the people that sell hearing aids, maybe they're not doctors or anything, but this guy, I'm saying this gentleman, this guy. Is a physician, okay? So that's a little difference there, you know? So I want to talk to him about the latest things up front that people can be helpful, hearing aids. I know when I used to go to meetings when I was a police officer. I go to meetings and I'd sit there and I'd hear and I'd talk and oh yeah, and the guy says, hey, we just talked about that 5 minutes ago. Finally, one of my friends says, look, you better check your hearing, you know. I says, okay, so I did. And boy, it needed. So now I have 2 hearing aids, okay. And I hear good, I have music and that whole bit, TV. So, my guest today is from Norristown, Pennsylvania, on New Hope Street. His office is right across from the St. Paul's Church. And a little shopping strip there, right next to the Magistrate Huntsicker, a good friend of ours. So, Dr. Jorge Zavala, right?
Jorge Zavala, you got
Zavala,
it.
And that is Spanish. And you know, I'm Italian, he's Spanish. See, the Spanish eyes, too. The Humperdinck thinks that. Now, you just opened this, took over an office from. Now, tell me about it. I got my hearing aids there.
Yes.
No, Karen.
I took over. Karen Cooper has this practice that was there for about 12 years. She'd been in practice 20 years.
Right.
Took over December 20th, and we're off to a great start. Great reception. Patients are very happy.
Right.
With the changes.
Why? Now, the most important thing is, how do you prevent this hearing loss? I mean, I'm here to educate people. You're an educator. Right. You're a doctor, an educator. Now, prevention, and then we prevent it. If you can't prevent it, you get it, then you got to do something about it. Now, tell me.
You're absolutely correct. Prevention is key for the hearing losses that you can prevent. There are many hearing losses you can prevent. Most commonly, hearing loss is genetic. You're genetically predisposed to lose hearing, so you can't really stop it. But there are certain things that you can obviously do to prevent worsening or hearing loss that isn't genetic, which might be noise exposure, which is one of the biggest ones. Certainly in our area with the steel workers, things like that, there's a whole lot of noise exposure.
Right.
So wearing hearing protection.
I think how I lost my power, when I was a police officer, we used to go to Lower Merion shooting range.
That is correct.
And we didn't have they didn't put any cotton or anything, you know, it's going back, you know, and we're going pop, 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 and here I had a guy on this side and a guy on that side shooting, boom, and after we got finished shooting around, you know, my ears would ring, you know. Now they have the thing to cover it, you know. What are you going to? So it's pretty hard to regain once you damage something. But this is helpful. Now, I see you have some articles there or some.
Well, I have a lot of things here to show you today. There's certainly accessories. I'll show you a few different hearing aids that I brought in today. As far as styles and the capabilities that these hearing aids have, what you can do today. I mean, hearing aids have come a very, very long way since they obviously first came out.
I remember the first one, they said, I get a little one here. So I said, I want the smallest one because, you know, I would say, I don't want anybody to know that but after I said, hey, I can't hear. I don't care if I had to put a bell up there. I don't care. So here they are.
Yeah. Everybody wants the smallest hearing aid. Everybody wants the invisible hearing aid. And unfortunately, oftentimes they suffer the consequences of the choosing vanity over functionality.
Right. Well, I'm not. I'm not a model.
Yeah, well, fortunately,
Well,
even
some people have to, on a job, a certain job, they have, it means a lot.
absolutely, absolutely, and certainly now with the advances in technology, even the smaller, more inconspicuous hearing aids are now quite good, quite good.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So, now, what was some of the common causes? What are some of the common causes? Did I mention that, or you mentioned that?
Common causes of hearing loss, first would be genetic predisposition to it, but also things like it can be secondary to other problems such as diabetes. Diabetes is
Diabetes
a very...
has an effect on it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I got that too.
Well, high blood pressure, exposure to ototoxic medications like chemotherapy agents and IV antibiotics. A lot of different things could affect
it,
the
right,
hearing.
right.
Yeah, absolutely. So those are some of the common causes that are not. There are also ear infections that are more temporary type things that are.
Yeah, I had an ear infection. I used to go swimming up in Green Lane, big lake there, and I got water in my ears, and boy, I'll tell you, and that's what it was. But they closed that place down because the water was contaminated. Oh my
sure.
God, So my ears played a big part in my life. But I was a boxer. I didn't get no cauliflower ears, so nobody put me there.
Sure.
So now some of the latest things what's the up front, the latest thing for hearing aids.
Okay, so let me just grab something out of here. I'll show you the latest style of hearing aid. That's really the most popular style hearing aid. Where it used to be,
Hold it up so
it used to be the completely in the canal hearing aid, which is that really tiny hearing aid that we were just referring to. That used to be the most common. Now these tend to be the most common selected by patients. The reason being is I'm actually going to...
What goes into your ear? This?
The only part that actually goes into your ear is that, and that's your speaker. That's
Oh
the speaker
God.
on the hearing aid. And then there's this thin wire, which then goes to the guts of the hearing aid. The guts basically carry your battery.
That the battery's in there.
The battery's in there.
Yeah.
Let me just hold that up.
Yeah.
So that's a tiny battery.
See.
Sure.
In other words, this goes in your ear, and this, the battery.
That's the juice.
And how often do you think them batteries? About once a week or so?
It's hard to tell.
Hard to-
It's very different from patient to patient because the degree of hearing loss.
Yeah.
Let me get a little
Let me
tip
show you
so
mine. I'll show you mine here. So mine is a little bit bigger.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So here's the gut of it, right?
Right.
And this is what goes in my ear. Look what goes in there. Oh my God! And it's
and
more
that is
powerful.
that is a very good hearing aid that you have there.
Yeah.
But you can get similar power levels now
Smaller.
with this style hearing aid. Now you just get a
Yeah.
different speaker that's a little bit thicker.
Well, I get this from the Army. I got Karen
Sure.
until I got this from the
Sure.
Army veterans.
VA
if you're
does
a
it.
veteran, you can get these. That's for anybody that's a veteran. You want to get hearing aids, but in the meantime, you can go to your office and get checked for what?
Well, you can come to my office and we can do a diagnostic evaluation, and you can get an opinion, as to what kind of hearing loss we're looking at. Is it medically treatable? Is it something that would basically come down to hearing aids? And opinions, basically just to be educated on your hearing
Right,
loss and what your
right.
options are. So,
Okay.
I should clarify one thing that you said at the beginning. I'm not a physician. I'm a doctor of audiology, so it's an advanced degree beyond a master's to practice audiology. Physicians...
In other words, you're a doctor. It's like a doctor of education.
Correct.
Okay.
People
okay.
think of it kind of like as a
good.
PhD. Okay.
Right.
Now, if you go to an ear, nose, and throat doctor,
Okay.
an ENT, people refer to them. They're physicians. They're surgeons
Yeah,
that
right.
deal in the medical aspect of hearing. Usually, you'll see audiologists working hand in hand with ear, nose, and throat
Okay.
doctors. I myself am independent. I work alone. Okay. Now, I do not do things like operate. I don't prescribe medications.
No.
Okay. But audiologists are basically the people that you see for the diagnosis of hearing loss and for the treatment of non-medical.
Okay, okay.
So, there's about...
The doctor of a dentist.
Correct, dentist,
dentist.
chiropractor,
Okay. All right.
It's more of a clinical
You're not
degree.
just a salesman.
Correct. I won't get into that end of things. But
No, I don't want to get no arguments with anybody. All I know is he can take care of you.
There is certainly, a big difference in the people that are able.
Jealousy here.
Right. I don't want to get into that.
You got. Don't worry about it.
So let me, we're onto this. Let me just put this in my ear so people can see kind of what they look like. Now, right now, I'm going to blast myself because I actually programmed this pretty loud.
Oh yeah.
So this is the way these hearing aids look.
Let me see. Wow, don't even see it. Wow.
So it is a thin wire that runs across the front of the face here.
Right.
The speaker itself is inside of the ear. The microphones are up top. Okay. Sound comes in up here, gets processed by a very, very just absolutely amazing computer system.
Oh my God.
Okay, amplifies sound and delivers it through the speaker system.
Uh-oh. I forgot to turn this off. I forgot to turn this thing off here. Go ahead.
I thought it was actually the hearing aid and give me some sort of signal. So that was a little odd.
I forgot to turn
That's
this
right.
thing off.
Speaking of which, I probably forgot to do mine too. So just in case, we'll
sorry.
push buttons.
All right, I'll turn that thing off. Shut up.
So, these hearing aids are phenomenal. This is one manufacturer that I work with. I work with over 40 manufacturers that are out there, and each manufacturer has probably 10 hearing aids in their lineup. So this is one of many, and these manufacturers offer a tremendous amount of technology. As basic as what we've pretty much always had are some remote controls where, it's basic. You can have some control over your hearing aids. Volume.
Well, it has to be controlled by that. You can't. Is there a
You can
control
do it on
that
board.
too?
There is a control on board the hearing aid.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is where, when you sit down with me at an appointment, I need to know you. I need to know what you're expecting and what you're looking for, because each manufacturer and each style of the hearing aids strips something out. Let's say you want a small hearing aid.
Yeah.
Well, I can get this hearing aid, but I can get it with fewer features to make it smaller. So if we strip off all the volume control and the program button on the hearing aid, then you might want a remote so that you can access some of those features without the hearing aid being bigger. So remote control is a nice option for some people in different situations. It gives you control. Let's put it that way. I mean, that's what a remote control is. Okay, so then we can go into let's use this little guy. This little guy is a transmitter. Okay, that thing you can plug into the back of your television, and what it does is it beams the sound directly into the hearing aids.
Oh my God.
So
now that will work with anybody's hearing aid, or just have to be computerized with that one?
Well, this would have to be with this manufacturer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It can be programmed to any hearing aid that's from this manufacturer and this platform of hearing
They
aid.
make different styles.
Correct. So, this one is specifically to this hearing aid, but yours, the manufacturer that you have, they have those options as well.
Yeah.
So you can get a device that plugs into the back of the television.
And that'd be good, because I don't hear everything. They're good, but they don't pick up every word. That's why I always have the
Closed caption.
Caption.
Yeah, most people, I'm going to take this out.
Yeah.
Because it's very loud. So most people absolutely, it's probably the most common complaint that I
You know what
hear.
I'm thinking? I'm thinking now, here we're at Northtown High School. We got a lot of these young students, and you say, well, I want to do something for my grandma, my grandpop or so, and you go there, hey, grandmom, what, it'd be nice to get them, put them in the car and take them over to your office and get checked and get their ears checked.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't that be something? Now that's something for, you can say you want to do something good for your grandmom or grandpop or your uncle or your aunt. And it makes it a lot easier rather than, because a lot of times, because he can't hear too good, you don't bother talking to him because you hate to repeat it. And that gets to be a pain in the neck. So if you want to help somebody, get over there. Get them a hearing check for nothing, okay? You don't have to buy anything. Then you see I need it, then you buy it.
Exactly.
It's like you go to a restaurant, see something like you eat, boom, you manja.
The point, I think the most important thing is education and being educated about your own situation.
Right.
You need to know, do you have hearing loss? Do you not have hearing loss? If you have hearing loss, what are your options? Period.
Right. My brother had a restaurant over in Flowertown, and he had a waitress working there. She couldn't hear too good, couldn't take the orders. Mm-hmm. Says, look, why don't you go to the doctor? She says, okay, he went to the doctor. Went to her family physician. He looked at it, he says, he says, he says that it's because of your age, you're hearing loose when you get old. So, all right. So she still couldn't do any better. Says, go to another doctor. Another doctor went in, put out a big piece of the wax.
Big piece of wax.
And she could hear.
Yeah.
So go get your ears checked. Just like you pull into a gas station, check your water, check your air, tire,
And get checked by a professional.
Right. That's right.
Okay.
Go to a professional.
If you see a big sign that says free, 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 free.
Be careful.
Beware.
Yeah.
Typically, people giving things away for free are not qualified to charge insurances for it. So.
Right. Well, like I say, an informed nation is a peaceful nation. Be informed, check it out. When in doubt, check it out. Now, is it hearing aids just for the old people?
Absolutely not. Hearing loss, actually a very interesting statistic, is 65% of people with hearing loss are under the age of 65.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And do you think a lot of that music, high music, has a lot to do with it too? You get too close.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. We are seeing numbers, I believe it's 1 in 14 Generation X individuals have some hearing loss.
Wow.
So this is something that's pretty serious. It's a growing, I dare say, epidemic. Certainly with now we all have something in our ears to listen to music. When you wear something in your ears, like headphones, usually like the little earbud style especially, you really tend to crank up the music and you're actually doing some significant damage.
Every once in a while we go to a restaurant or nightclub and they sit at a table. Worst thing they do, they put you near a table near the toilet. They put you near the kitchen door where everybody's coming in and out.
Right.
Or they put you where the big amplifiers are. And you get in and got that loud music coming in your ears, so not good.
Then your ears ring, and actually ringing in your ears oftentimes is a sign of hearing loss. So
when you hear that ringing.
When you hear that ringing in your ears, that is oftentimes, that they come hand in hand, hearing loss and ringing.
Now how about surgery? Sometimes surgery can help.
Yes, absolutely.
That's important for you. Could you detect that if somebody comes in there?
I can absolutely detect if something in the diagnostic evaluation raises a red flag where it's a medical condition.
Say, this is not my baby, okay? You need
to see, Dr. So-and-so or Dr. So-and-so who specializes in this particular. So you can think of me as the gatekeeper where I see what the results are and I send you to the right person. But typically, roughly, I would say 20% of hearing loss, and that's a high estimate, 20% of hearing loss is medically treatable, whereas 80% is something that you would look for hearing aids or assistive hearing technologies for.
Now, what is that?
This is the equivalent of this without hearing aids. Okay, so What this is going to do is you're going to plug this into your television, and you're going to take these little guys, and instead of listening through hearing aids, you're listening to these.
It's strictly for TV.
Strictly for TV, and this is the
How about
situation.
telephone?
There are amplified telephones that you can access. Actually, if you have a certain degree of hearing loss, you can access some of these at no charge, believe it or not. There are ways of getting amplified phones.
Where the company?
Yeah, some companies will provide them, absolutely, with funding from the Federal Trade Commission. I believe that's who has the funding.
Good.
Yeah. I should say also these, this one in particular, and there are some limited ones of these, you can also take to theaters. Now, I don't know if you know, but when you go to a theater, you go to movies, you know, you can actually, by law, they have to provide hearing assistive technology. Yes, that's
in the movie.
That's part of the Americans with Disabilities Act. So they, by law, just like
That's almost like the handicap on the
that's
sidewalk.
exactly what it is. So by law, they have to offer things like this
In the movies.
in a movie theater. So if you go up to the front, if you pay attention, a lot of times you'll see a little sign for it. But oftentimes they don't announce it because half the time they're not working. But you can go up to the front and say, I need some assistive hearing technology. They'll probably dig it out from somewhere and give it to you.
See. And it's all.
That's it. It's simple. It's volume control up and down. I use these in my own home. When my wife is sleeping and I want to watch TV, I can have the volume set to 1 on the TV, but I have that nice and loud for me to hear, and it doesn't bother her.
This company.
This is Sennheiser, which is a phenomenal company.
I never heard of it.
You can get all this stuff online. Their catalogs. You know, there's all sorts of devices. There's one company. I'm not going to mention names, but this company is. Everybody gets steered toward them.
That's great, you know.
Yeah, no, these are great. These are fantastic.
Right.
And this is the situation.
You sell them.
Yes. And then this is the situation where, you know, I usually tell people, just because you come to see an audiologist, mean you're going to end up with hearing aids. There's a world of things out there that are relatively inexpensive that can make your life easier.
Right, okay.
Now, hearing aids are the answer to most global issues that arise from hearing loss.
Right.
But there's a world of technology out there. I've got catalogs in the in my waiting room that have, it's that thick, and it's all amplified telephones, things like that.
And then, in other words, can this go up and down too?
Absolutely. The volume, you control the volume specifically on those. Real nice thing, let me just go into this one.
Go ahead.
This is a feature also that goes tied into the hearing aids themselves. This is a transmitter for your cell phone, okay? And you can actually use it on a landline phone that has Bluetooth capabilities. And what this will do is you basically clip it onto your shirt.
Yeah.
If you receive a phone call, then all you have to do is click a button. It answers the phone. You don't even have to pull your phone out of your pocket. You hear the person's voice in both ears, and you very well know that 2 ears is better than 1.
Right.
The conversation is typically crystal clear.
Oh my God.
And then this picks up your voice so that the other person can hear you.
Wow.
We can take that a step further. It's something that I'm really...
Well, this stuff, man, oh man.
I'm really, really excited because this March, one of our manufacturers that I work with is releasing the world's first made-for-iPhone hearing aids. What these hearing aids, well, first of all, the hearing aids, the technology within the hearing aids is phenomenal. I'm not going to get into exactly what the hearing aid does and how it does it, but the fun features that I really like are the fact that the phone, your iPhone, okay, regular old iPhone,
Right.
okay,
This thing here.
Yep, you will use your iPhone as the remote control for the hearing aids. Okay, no interface. You will not have to wear anything like this. Okay, your iPhone will control you know, your programs, your volume, all that kind of stuff. You can do a little bit of shaping of the frequency response, which a lot of people want to have some control over their fitting. So this gives people a little bit of control on that. But it has some other features that are amazing. It uses the capabilities of your iPhone to track how you're going to get, let's say you go into a restaurant,
Right.
okay? And you decide at that restaurant that you like a little bit more volume, a little bit more bass, and that's how you like it when you're in that particular setting.
Right.
The phone remembers that, and it uses global positioning so that every time you return to that position, it makes those changes for you.
Oh my God. So,
Okay.
Yeah, the sound's coming this way or coming that way, you know?
Whatever it is, the hearing aid.
Sometimes when
the
I go in
hearing
the
aid knows
restaurant, I
what you
hear
want.
everything but the people I'm talking to.
Right.
Oh, I can't hear what he's saying, but I can hear the drums and the booms and the bongs over there.
Right. Well, now this phone, there's an additional feature, which the phone you can use as an extended microphone.
Right.
So, let's say you are at a table with a friend, you're in that restaurant, a lot of noise. You can take your phone and activate it as a mic, put it up front there,
All right.
and you can hear that person
All
right
right.
across the table.
We only got about 30 seconds.
All right, talk to me.
Wrap it up and tell me what's so important for to come and see you.
The important thing is people need to know that hearing loss is something that affects your life significantly.
Right.
It
I
creeps
know I go
up
to
on
the
you.
theater. I go to Center Theater, and I don't hear every word, you know? So something like this would help me out a little bit, even though I have hearing aids.
Right.
You
All
know.
this stuff. There's a world of possibilities to help you.
Right.
My job is to assess you and educate you, and I'm happy to do it. This is what I love to do.
Right. Well,
so come see me at Norton
I
Hearing
will.
Center.
And I started there, you know, with Karen now. And,
Absolutely. I'm all yours.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot for allowing us to come into your home. And what a great education here. A lot of things right up in the front burner. Is there anything here that you forgot or anything you got there? Is everything covered?
I mean, this is just
Right. The only thing I can say, his office is on Johnson Highway.
East Johnson
right across from St. Paul's Church, little strip there next to Judge Hudsicker's courtroom. And go in, get your hearing checked, okay? Enjoy life. God give you 2 ears and 2 eyes, so take care of them, okay? So
thank you very much,
it's
sir.
been a pleasure. And,
my pleasure,
and
my
I'm
pleasure.
with you all the time, you know, and I'm going to, so go and check it out. When in doubt, check it out. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot. And may God bless each and every one. And take care of your ears, okay? Adios.
Adios.
Adios, amigos. Hue Marie, Cuando sanno facciavan. And that'll help your singing, too.